Hello BFs, welcome to my channel. This is Fash. In this channel, I share sewing tutorials, DIYs, and tips and tricks. If you're interested in content like this, please click on the subscribe button, like, and if you found this video valuable, please share with your friends and loved ones. The tutorial for today is on this cargo skirt, and it has a fly zipper, double pocket, and back pocket. So let's get started with our tutorial. This is the material I use. It's a thick crepe fabric and it's 2 yard, and I have my tape and scissors with me. So I'm going to be using the white zipper because I want to show you how to fix a zipper fly in a simple and easy way. So I have my ruler and my cord ruler. So I'll go ahead and fold my fabric just as you see me do. I'm going to be drafting the basic skirt before turning it into a cargo skirt. So at the far end of my folded fabric, I'm going to be taking out half an inch. This is because a cargo skirt has a joining in front. With that joining, I'm going to be fixing my zip. Half inch is enough, but if you want, you can make yours 1 inch. I also went ahead to draw a straight line at the top, just as we do in all our videos, to mark as our starting point. I'm going to be taking out 1 inch from my tape. That 1 inch is going to be for my waistband. So I went ahead to mark my waist to hip measurement, which is 10 inch. Afterward, I'll mark my waist to my desired skirt's length, and then I'll go ahead and add 1.5 inch for my hemming allowance. So I'll make 2 points as we do and connect it just as the way you see me do right now. I'm going to be placing my tape on that half inch I came in at. I'll mark my waist circumference divided by 4 and add my seam allowance, and then on my hip line I'll mark my hip measurement divided by 4 and mark my seam allowance. And then at the hem of my skirt, I'm going to take the measurement I marked at my hip line and just transfer it to the hem because it's going to be the same. Once I'm done with that, I'll just go ahead and connect all the dots I just made now, and we are done with a basic skirt. I'll go ahead and cut out everything just as you see me do, and then I'll open the front of the skirt. Remember, a cargo skirt has a joining at the front. I've gone ahead to fold another fabric in two. This is going to be my back piece. We are trying to get a nice bum seat at the back skirt. I marked 1 inch on the piece that I placed for the back skirt. Already we have half an inch in our front skirt. So I'm just going to place that half an inch as you see me do. I'll transfer all the lines from the front skirt to the back skirt, which is what I am doing now. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take out the front skirt so that you will see what I did. Then we'll continue from there. I mean, I don't want my butt to be pressed in, so I want to have like a butt contour. That is why we are going through this whole process. But if you want to skip this part, please just go ahead and cut the back piece exactly like you cut the front piece. With that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and mark 1.5 inch. Bear in mind that this is not going to affect our back piece in any way because the front skirt already have an inch, and then I marked 1 inch as if I was marking 1 inch for zipper allowance at the back. At the hip line, I'm going out by 1.5 inch, and then at the waistline, I'm coming out by 1 inch. I'm going to also come out at the hemline by 1 inch. I am done with my front and back piece, and the difference between my front and back piece is just the butt contour. If not, every other thing is the same. So I'm just going to label, indicate where the front is. So this is the back piece, and I'm going to keep it aside and start working with the front piece. So first of all, I want to make a zipper fly for the front piece. A point where I added a half inch is where I'm going to be joining my zipper allowance. I'm going to go ahead and cut a strap length of 7 inches, which is exactly the length of my short zip. So this is the strap I've cut. So I'm going to fold it into two as you see me do, and the length is 7 inch while the width is 2 inch. So where you see me marking right now, I'm just going to make a curve here. So this is it. I'm now going to go ahead and attach this to one side of my skirt. At this point, you can choose the side you want to attach this zipper fly to. So basically I'm taking this to my sewing machine and I'll just sew half an inch across as I just showed you guys right now. So guys, this is it. I've stitched it and I'm just showing you guys the result right now. Now this is the zipper I'm going to be using. I'm going to be placing the head of the zip facing down as you see me do. So the head of your zip, that's the side that is going to be opening and closing, is the one that will be facing down. And then you will sew half an inch downward. Make sure that with the stopper, like where the zip stops, when you zip it close where it stops, it's directly on the tip of the zipper fly, so that when you join your band, you're not going to be sewing on the iron. I went ahead to pin my zipper to my zipper fly, then I'll take it to my machine and stitch it down. So I've done that, and then this is the result. The next step is to bring the second piece of the front skirt, and then just as you see me do now, I'm going to turn the right side to face the side of the zipper that is facing up. It's more like I'm sewing the right side of the skirt facing each other, but then I will now pinch the other side of the zipper that I haven't sewn yet to the second piece of the skirt. Just watch carefully and you understand what I'm doing. And then I'll bring the second piece of my fly zipper. This is going to be serving as the zipper cover, and then the opening side I'm going to fold it into two, just like the way you see me do, and then I'll pin this down before taking it to my sewing machine and stitch it. We have an inch. This is the final result. Mind you, the downside of the skirt is still open, so I have already sewn my zipper fly to the skirt. Guys, this is very simple, but in case you have any confusions or question, please feel free to ask. Now moving on, I'm going to take the skirt and stitch together the remaining part that is opening, which is what I'm going to do now. This is the final result of our zipper fly, and I've stitched down the skirt. I also doubled the stitch down there for a more professional look. And on the side of this zipper, you know that stylish look that we have on our trousers and jean trousers, so you can make it double stitch or you can make a single stitch. Right now, I'm going to mark out 1.5 inch. This is going to be my hemming allowance. First of all, we're going to start by fixing the lower pocket. That is why I marked out this 1.5, so I don't fix the pocket on that point mistakenly, forget my sewing allowance. Now I'm coming in by 2 inch, which is the sewing allowance I added while drafting, and then for the length of my pocket, I'll go up by 4 inches. While the width of the pocket, I want it to be 4.5 inches. So right now, just go ahead and make a box as you see me do. I'll be doing this on both sides of the skirt. I'll go ahead and cut two pieces for the skirt pocket. So for the width, that's the lower part of it, which is what I am confirming right now. This is 4.5 inch, but I'm going to make my pocket to be 5.5 inches. That's because I need sewing allowance. I'm going to make the length of my pocket, that's the top to down, to be 6 inches. Afterward, I went ahead to cut the strap with a length of 22 inches and a width of 2 inches. So I'm going to take this strap to my sewing machine and attach it the way I'm describing right now with half an inch sewing allowance. So I'll attach it round my pocket. Once I am done with that, I'll show you guys the results. And this is the final look of the pocket. I've gone ahead to sew the strap around the pieces I cut for my pocket. So the next step is to place it on my skirt and then sew it as if I am top stitching on it. Either way, you can use your hemming gum and hem in half an inch. That's you hemming in the rough edges inward so that when you're top stitching, the rough edges will not show outside of the skirt. So make sure you do this around and fold in any excess that is showing out so that you will have a neat finishing. So I'll go ahead and do this and then come back and show you guys the final result. So this is how our pocket is looking. Right now the pocket is still standing out, like it's not laying flat on the fabric. The next step is the way I am folding it inwards. Just take it to your sewing machine and top stitch on those pocket 2 point, that's the opening. You top stitch it so that it's going to lay flat. And now I've done that, so this is how it's laying flat on the skirt right now. Yeah, this is more like a minimalist pocket. So the next thing, I'm going to cut the pocket cover. So I'll just go ahead and measure the width of this pocket opening, and then I'm going to cut 4 pieces. What I measured was 4 inches for my pocket opening, but I'm going to be cutting 5 inches. And then for the length of my pocket cover, I want it to be 4.5 inches. This 4.5 inches includes my sewing allowance of 1 inch to 1.5 inch. So at the end of the day, my pocket cover is going to be 3 inches to 3.5 inches. From our style inspiration, our pockets were not straight pockets, so we have to like make a stylish cutout on our pocket. So now at one end of my pocket, I'm going to go up by half an inch, then I'll curve in that half an inch to the other edge, just as you see me do. Once I'm satisfied with what I have, I'll go ahead and trim off the excesses. So guys, this is how stylish our pocket are looking. Now I'm taking 2 pieces for one side of the pocket and then 2 pieces for the other side of the pocket. So I'll go ahead and sew it all around with half an inch. So guys, I've sewn it, and now I'm just trimming off the excesses of both pockets. Once I was done with that, I'll go ahead and notch it, and now I'm turning the pockets to the good side. To have a neat finishing at the pocket cover, I'm going to fold in about half an inch before sewing the pocket to the opening at the top. So I'm done with that. I sewed it first of all inside, and then I now top stitch on the pocket so it's going to lay flat. And I always double my stitches because I want it to have a very professional look. At this point, I want to quickly work on my back skirt before continuing with the front skirt. So this is our back piece, and the part where we did our butt contour, where I'm pointing out right now, I'm going to sew with 1 inch from the start to the end. So at the butt point where 1.5 was added, I won't take out 1.5, I'll take 1 inch. And then once I was done with that, I'll open the skirt up and make my double stitch there. So guys, I'm done with that, and this is the result I got. And if you look carefully, you'll notice that the middle of my skirt has like a butt shape. Look how nice that middle part is. That's where my butt is going to sit and going to give it a very nice fit. So apparently that place won't be so tight on my butt, resulting in pressing the butt. Instead, it will give it space and allow it to be free. And that is how we do our butt contour in a very easy and simple way. For my back pocket, I'll come down from the top of my skirt by 5 inches, and then the center of my skirt where the 2 pieces were joined, I'll go in by 2 inches, which is what I just did. And then that 5 inch I came down by, I'll measure 7.5 inch from there downward. This is going to be the length of my skirt pocket. I want the width of my pocket to be 5 inches, so I'll go ahead and make a 5-inch mark, then connect all the points together and just have a square, which is what you see me do right now. Afterward, I'll look for the midpoint of the square and make like a V shape, just as you see me do right now. Mind you, I came up by 1 inch at each end. So this is how I want the shape of my pocket to be. I'll go ahead and cut this exact shape with, of course, sewing allowance all around it on a piece of fabric. I'm going to be cutting out 2 pieces of fabric. The length of my pocket is about 7 inch, so I'm going to cut the shape of my pocket to be 8.5. That's plus sewing allowance. So once I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and do the exact same thing I did on the back of my skirt.